What's up, you guys? It is the Sunday Reset Podcast with your girl. Yeah, I am one of your hosts. Are you ready?
Watch Twitches today, so then I can watch Twitches too tomorrow.
Yes, and I need to watch Halloween Town. And what's the little vampires kid, and then the other one?
Is it?
My mom went out on a date with a vampire or whatever.
Yeah, dating a vampire. Oh my goodness, it was mainly because of that Ali and AJ song in the first Twitches. I think it's called Rush.
So I posted an Ali and AJ song the other day on TikTok. It was so funny because I was just like, it was the one from Ice Princess.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Like Ice Princess. No, I lied. That's Kelly Clarkson. I'm sorry. Anyway, so moving on.
You just want to say I spread my wings and
And I learned how to fly. That's exactly.
not today, bro. Me and Blair been singing it all throughout the house. It's our turn.
We have come you are into the worst. You don't have to know.
See,
I love that song, but no,
I was thinking about how to play drunk games too. My fault.
it's no, I'm sorry. I really don't know why. Maybe because they sound similar, but I was literally about to start singing Kelly Clarkson again. I'm about to start doing. Hold on, I got now you done got me off track because I gotta hear this song again because now I'm like, yo, what in the world?
Fall down, I just stand win.
Okay, here. Oh, here we go.
Oh my god.
Well, okay.
I guess, yeah. Yes and no.
That's what I was trying to sing. Anyway, so this week we're talking about the art of saying no, how important it is to keep your boundaries, and just how that word is so underrated.
Mhm.
Um, Also, please subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at Sunday Reset the Pod. Then follow me on Instagram at Breya, the letter M, Browner, Breya, the letter M Browner. You can find me like that on Twitter and TikTok. Follow her at Just Juss Jasmine with three E's. And also, please go to our website. We have beautiful merch on the website. So it is the www.thesundayresetpod.com. All right. And so, give me one good celebrity story, one of your favorite celebrities. Well, it doesn't have to be a celebrity, it could be just a public figure in general. But give me one of your favorite public figures or celebrities that said no to a situation and stood on business. When he didn't go back to the Friday trilogy.
Or to most or to most films and TV shows for a very long time because he wanted to follow Christ. Like I believe that's true. He wanted to have a deeper journey.
That is a really good one, Jasmine. That's a really, really good
He
one.
literally just dipped from the industry for a minute. I mean, now you see him now and stuff like that, but it has to be on a project where he truly feels like it'll benefit him in his own path, his own right. Especially after
So
Michael Jackson died.
I think Montel Jordan did the same thing. Like he's like a pastor now, right?
Yeah, he didn't go back
Shout
into
out
the.
to Montel Jordan.
Yeah. Chris Tucker ended up going back, but especially because I feel like Michael Jackson's death also kind of was the catalyst for a little bit of that, or
Yeah.
at least it sustained it, because I think he started doing it way before Michael Jackson, like way before he passed.
I
But
think it just probably like, catalyzed him or just pushed him a little forward more so into the movement that he was in.
yeah, like it fed it. It fed it.
So I got one. And I'm gonna try not to laugh when I say, okay, I already failed. All right. My favorite is Jay-Z. You said no to the Super Bowl. You need me. I don't need you.
And
Period.
now Rock Nation chooses, along with Apple Music, who's at the Super Bowl.
Come on, bro. Jay-Z, you are the absolute GOAT. You want to sign this podcast to Rock Nation? Hit a bitch up. Seriously. I mean, that's probably going to be the only time I would allow Dad in one of our meetings regarding this, is if it was a Rock Nation meeting with Jay-Z. Because I feel like he would definitely never talk to us crazy ever. Okay, so we picked our favorite public figures, and I really like yours because that's a really good example of putting God and yourself before everything
No
else.
ball. I know ball. When it comes to putting God and yourself before everything else, I know ball.
Amen. Share a quick story where you had to say no, but you had to learn it the hard way, like you had a difficult time with it. I genuinely can't really see this for you. Maybe like in your love life I can see because you do get a little soft there, but honestly I really don't see you having an issue with saying no.
Just need to see me clear. I say no a lot, actually. I tend to practice it. Sometimes I get a little bit of laughs out of it. I get a little bit of pleasure out of saying no. Sometimes I just like seeing people's reactions whenever they can't get what they want. That's just yapping. But to be for real, like it's I have to say it a lot now, especially as a young professional, because I live and work in a community that is predominantly white. So whenever there is something that benefits my community, especially the BIPOC part of it, I immediately want to jump at it and do initiatives and projects that make life better, on a campus and in Western PA. That's kind of hard. It's not that easy being this skin tone living in Western PA. Like it is very welcoming out here, but in certain parts you can tell I'm still black. So I have to say no to some projects. I really don't like saying no to them though, but I have to. Like right now, dating and stuff like that. Like I was just telling Bria over FaceTime. I've been seeing. I asked her. I was like, "Is Mercury in retrograde? Like, what's going on?" Like, I am living the life that younger me wanted to live, and I didn't see that until now. I'm very grateful for the life that I live. Even though I always claim that I'm struggling, I still live a good life. You still hear it. You still hear the jewelry. Johnny.
And we went through a lot this year. Like aside from the deaths in our family, just in general, moving, losing friends,
Being in
getting new friends, getting new jobs.
Paris, yeah, getting full.
And then on top of that, having personal relationships with not only your lover or other people, but within yourself. So I definitely would agree. I definitely feel like I'm finally living the life that I wanted to live mentally, physically, and emotionally. And that's not to say like we don't have bad days. Everybody had their crash out days. But at the beginning of this year, when we was at Air, do you remember that? Like after grandma passed away, we the waitress had came up to us and was like, "You guys are so like we love having y'all here. You guys are here all the time. Da da da. Like, would you like for the DJ to give you a shout out?" And you can find it. It's on my Instagram page. But I had wrote on a napkin like shout out to Breya and Jasmine for signing their first lease. And then literally a month later, like it probably wasn't even 30 days later, we literally did that. It probably wasn't even 30 days. I think it might have been like a few weeks after
Yeah,
that.
mine's is 2 weeks. That's how mine's is 26.
Yeah, I think mine was only like 3 after that. So the power of the tongue is real. It also says that in the Bible. So definitely read the word up on that. It's a lot of scriptures that talk about the things that you speak coming to fruition.
Yeah, and like how that ties back into like saying no is that I've had to kind of learn, not the hard way, but like all these people basically, I feel like to me coming out the woodworks, like either wanting to hang out, do business, or just like have me in their life in some sort of capacity has grown. Like I feel like it's trending now with the people in this area. And like younger me, the little kid in me wants to go, yes, hang out with them. Like you've always wanted to do this. Like you've always wanted to have this lifestyle. Da, da, da. And then me now, I'm like, girl, I'm tired as fuck.
Right.
I wanna go lay down. I'd rather I'd rather cook myself. Like I love cooking. Like it's like a chill pastime. It's like I can replace smoking with it, like for real. Like it just does something. Like I just like cooking. It's good for the soul, to be honest, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Whenever I'm going through something, that is literally the first thing I do, whether it is cooking a meal or baking or doing both. Like it's very therapeutic.
Yeah, so like I've been like I just sometimes I just want to do that or just chill with my friends. Like I always say that is that I have a better time. I have a lot like I have really good times with my friends and just family and stuff like that up here. So like yeah, you're cute and everything. We have good conversation. We have amazing chemistry. But I want to go lay in my bed right now. Or I did say I would go to this kickback, and I want to go hang with my friends. It's crazy. Oh my god. So yeah, That's my no's that I've been learning.
The hardest no I probably like had to do was saying no to a relationship that I really wanted but knew that I didn't need. That was very hard because when you want something so much, sometimes it taints what is actually in front of you. And I really had to just come to terms with like if it's meant to be, it'll come back in the future. But as of right now, it's not what you need at all. Like you're not a good person when you're with this person. You're always worried about them. You're always frantic, always crying, depressed, sad because you're just like you want to like let me help you, let me fix you, but sometimes people have to go and it's nothing bad to the person. Obviously, you still love the person to death, would do anything for them other than that. But it's just like, at some point some people have to unfortunately go on their journey alone, and whether we come back in the end or not, that's up to God. Yeah, that was like the hardest thing I've ever had to do because it's like I really, really wanted this shit to work like so bad. And I just knew that at the rate it was going, that it wasn't going to happen in the timing that I personally needed for myself. So I just had to say no. I just had to say no, straight like that. And it was just like, I think the final act of love is letting go. And you never know. Sometimes you do. I know a lot of people don't believe in breaks. And that's fine because breaks aren't always plausible or breaks aren't always a good thing. Sometimes people utilize it to manipulate a situation into, doing whatever they want to do with the freedom that they didn't have during a relationship. That's not what I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm.
The break that I'm talking about isn't like a break where like you guys both genuinely are like, okay, we need a break, like to split up and come back together. I'm talking about like breaks where life happens. Sometimes it's the right person, wrong time, and unfortunately you have to go your separate ways. But then, at some point life brings you back together. That's the type of break I'm talking about. I ain't talking about y'all people that be like, oh, we need a break, and then y'all just be going fucking on other people. Like, oh, well, we're not together. Like, no, that's not how that works. That's not what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
that was the hardest no for me.
Well, time for the first commercial break. Flex Rent Split app. Ever had your whole check swallowed up by rent? That just happened to me last week. Okay, that happens all the time for us, and that's why we use Flex. Now, personally, I would describe this as a rent splitting app that lets you break your rent into like more smaller and like manageable payments. No more overdraft tears, no more skipping brunch with the girls. Flex has your back. Click the link in the description box below and download Flex today. Get your coins aligned with your lifestyle. Live the lifestyle you want to live.
All right, so let's talk about why no feels like a bad word. And I do feel like that there are a
Who said
lot of hmm?
Who said that?
I mean, it's a lot of like cultural and family pressures that say no, especially like when you're a big family person like me. That was another thing that I had to learn was saying no to family because you automatically feel obligated to help. You want to do everything you can, but even family sometimes you have to say no to. Like I'm it's just not humanly possible to be available 24/7 and still be there for yourself. And the people that are available 24/7 generally do not live long. You see a lot of them die early because they've given everything they got to the world and received nothing in return. And I had to realize that for myself because I myself am a very giving person. Just noticing that it's okay to still be the nurturing, kind, compassionate person that you are. However, now it's for me, I view it as a privilege rather than a requirement. Obviously be nice to everyone, but to overextend yourself, that is a different type of measurement that I only, utilize my ruler when it's things placed in front of me that you've given to me first, because I ain't doing that shit no more, for real. I like when I tell you my trust like went from here to down here, and It's not to say to harden your heart or anything like that, but it's just to decrease being naive and being green and just really thinking, is this something God is telling me to do, or is this some type of self-service to please the broken inner child in me? Because most of the time, the most nurturing people, obviously we're naturally like that, but most of the time we're extremely nice because we have been treated extremely bad and we don't want anyone else to feel that way. So you overextend yourself in order to make other people not feel bad. But unfortunately, we think some people deserve better, but there are some people that deserve exactly what they're getting. And if you stand in the way of their karma, you can become collateral damage.
Yep, one of my favorite phrases is "Have the day you deserve."
Have the day you deserve. And honestly, sometimes you want more for people than what they want for themselves. And you have to come to terms with that as well. It's nothing wrong with wanting more for your friends, but this is my rule. I'm only going to tell you one time how to better yourself. You can either take that advice and fly with the wind,
Hmm.
or you can ignore it and continue to do you. But at least I did my part. So I don't feel, an obligation if you feel or whatever to any guilt or remorse. It's just like, unfortunately, everybody got fall on their ass sometimes. So, and then like, how do you think women, men, and our non-binary family and every beautiful gender in between, how do you think it's different socializing like the word no? Because I feel like women are more compelled, like as a social construct, to say yes, like because it's kind of how we're built. We always have to say yes to everything. And I feel like our trans sisters and brothers have the same thing. People look at them so differently, and it's always, if I actually do something, say yes, and then if they don't, then that's when they're beaten to death or ostracized, and it's just really unfortunate,
Yeah,
honestly, especially transgender women.
yeah. I couldn't even imagine. I can only explain the gender dynamics for like a feminine presenting like woman. So like female. So like I don't like. I'm not sure. But you're right though. I would imagine that it would be the exact same. That you're always expected to say yes because they never want you to actually say no. They're giving it's the illusion of an option of free will, especially with with men nowadays. Like, yeah, I know there's good ones out there, I've surrounded myself with them, but there are also terrible, shitty, boo boo butt people, violent men. So that's the best way I can explain them. And it's hard, so I pray for all of us out here.
It's very hard. It really is. Because once again, I feel like with being like a sexual assault survivor, things of that nature, once again touching, transgender women and cisgender women, I just feel like sexually they feel like our body is like public property when it's really privately owned. And that really bothers me that we as women we can't travel alone. We have to walk in groups all the time when we want to party. It's not like we can go by ourselves with just two people. You know what I'm saying? We have to always be surrounded by some type of safety net because it's someone out there that will literally like kill you or harm you over saying no. So I definitely feel like, and not to say that men don't deal with that, but I'm just, once again, we're speaking from our perspective. I can't explain, men may feel like they can never say no to the women in their life because you always got to be a man and, you always got to
Take
step
care of
up
the
and
family. Yeah, you gotta be
you got to
protected.
take care of the family and you got to do this and you got to do that, or your baby mama needs you, blah blah. So I could definitely understand that. So it's not to say, we're just highlighting just our perspective because it is a personable one that we can actually relate to. And then, well, we kind of touched on this earlier, but the cost of saying yes, the type of burnout and resentment that you have with that. Personally, for me, I definitely want your intake on this, but personally, for me, I definitely can understand the resentment because you give so much, you say yes so much, and you expect so much in return. But sometimes that good karma doesn't return to you in the way that you expected it to. And it can create resentment with the person that you've completely said yes to all this time because you're like, but you're not giving me nothing. But maybe God is blessing you in other areas of your life
Yeah,
that,
yeah. I think it's definitely one of okay. I definitely think that it is like one of those situations where, especially like we wasn't necessarily Catholic growing up, so like, but we did grow up Christians, but we just grew up Baptist. That was it, like especially Southern Baptist, and then
We went to a Lutheran daycare.
yeah,
That
Lutheran.
was interesting.
We skipped around like Methodist churches, but
Low key, I felt like Aunt Linda's church was a Quaker church, child. I felt like we was back in. No, not even just Aunt Linda's church. Grandma Florence church. That was a Quaker church. I don't care what nobody say.
Grandma Florence's church was a down south church, like stomping, clapping.
I mean, 5 hours. Like y'all be seeing the movies. If you've ever seen The Color Purple, or
Mm.
if you've ever seen the James Brown movie, Get Up, and how they be at church like for hours in the tent, jumping around, praising God. That's what we grew up on in North Carolina.
Yeah, more like recent sinners, if you've ever seen like that, like Preacher Boys Church. Yeah, that was kind of my grandma's church, except it was just early 2000s or whatever. But yeah, here they one of our main pillars is serving, like continuously serving under agape love, unconditional love, basically. People say agape is just fancy for unconditional or whatever, I guess. But they've been praising that. That's been like the main theme. And I really do fucks with it though. But also what they preach to you as people who usually are burnt out, who have resentments from unsaid expectations of reciprocation, who do all this stuff, who are constantly serving the community, they always tell you to take care of yourself. You're number one first. We always, like, especially in leadership roles on campus, teach it like the flight attendants announcements right before you take off for a flight, the air mask announcements. You always want to put the air mask on yourself first and then help everyone else. Because if you are trying to help a child and you're actively losing oxygen or like on the plane in a moment, a serious emergency situation, you will pass out in the midst of trying to put an oxygen mask on a child, and then that child will probably not even get the oxygen mask fully on, or whoever else you're helping. So now all of y'all are most likely dead or passed out. So you have to take care of yourself before you're able to take care of other people or everyone else. If you want it to rhyme, in order for it to stick in your head, you have to take care of yourself before you take care of everyone else. You have to
Absolutely.
take care of yourself before you take care of everyone else. So like that's also one of the main things if you're reframing no for self-love. You have to every single time. And it's just like I learned by just starting saying no in small ways, or just saying no to small situations. Like I asked my sisters, I said sisters. I asked my sister, when we was out in Raleigh, like, did they like her? And it was like our aunt and then also our cousin. Like, did anyone have a pair of flip flops I could use? Because mine's like popped or something like that. They was like, oh, I got these sandals. Like Breya was like, oh, I got these sandals, and then our aunt was like, oh, I got these sandals. So I'm like, oh, like the. She gave me like some platform Johns, and I was like, oh, these are really cute. And then I think, or was it you that gave me the platform, the wedges, and then she gave me something else?
I ain't have no wedges. I
Okay, yeah,
think she was the one that gave those to you. Yeah.
yeah, you gave me some black sandals, and then she gave me some platform wedges. And then I was like, I'm gonna take the platform wedges. I was like, no, Bria, you're good. I was like, thank you so much. I said I like these shoes better because you was asking me whether or not I was gonna take them, and you just started laughing like you was like, you say nice so like you say no so nicely, and I was like,
No, because it's a good thing, and that's why I was laughing because we don't even have to get into the other preference, but it was just funny because I'm like, yo, she literally like stood on business. She was like, nah, I really do like these shoes. However, this one go better with my outfit. I'm gonna feel more comfortable in that. And I'm like, it's literally just as simple as that. And it was just funny because of how like she was looking like, are you offended? What the hell they in my damn feet? What the fuck me? Or like so.
I'm just looking because I
Not you, but
yeah, like I sometimes I have to say that it's a nice like again, once again, like how they taught me like like education in college and stuff like that. It's like the art critique. You say something nice, and then you say everything that you need to say, no matter what it is, kind of. But you do want to be you want to communicate very neutrally about it. But if you don't, then you don't. and then you sandwich something nice too. You have to sandwich. You have to sandwich the critique.
That's
That's
when
usually
I tell you, Pastor Battle literally says that all the time. The last sermon, I can't remember what series this was because we're now on the path of success now. It was like a few series back, but he was talking about the art of saying no. So he said you can start it off with gratitude. Thank you so much for thinking of me. So he gave an example like for himself when people try to invite him to engagements that he don't necessarily want to go to or he may not be available for. So he said first say, "Thank you so much for thinking of me." Then you add the information. "Unfortunately, I have a prior engagement." Add gratitude again. And he was like, the prior engagement, he said it don't gotta be like a real event. It could be, I want to take a nap. That's my engagement and that's why I don't want to do it. And so then he was like, "But thank you so much for thinking of me. I really do appreciate it." And then like leave room for space if this is someone you need that with, but you can end it right there. Or if it's someone that you actually care about or you genuinely do want to support them, but say, "But please keep me in mind for future da da da."
yeah. Or like
So
our grandma Bessie, like most countries, Southern people do. You just say it outright. You just say it nicely with a smile on your face. I really like those jeans, just not on you. See, that didn't feel that bad. It definitely stung. It hit you, but guess what? I got my point across, and now you know what I'm saying. See, it's a balance. You have to try to figure out your balance, but you can't just be blunt, baby, and then don't even light the damn joint.
and on that note, we talking about someone that says no constantly. And that is our nigga, Chris Breezy Brown. Team Breezy, are you ready? Chris Brown is hitting the stage live, and you already know it's going to be a movie. Get your tickets now through Live Nation before they sell out because you don't want to be the friend scrolling Instagram, aka on my Instagram, watching me at the concert, and everybody else posts. Just click the link in the bio and come vibe with us at the Breezy Show. You don't want to miss this one. Breezy Bowl is lit. Alright, now it's time for our favorite segment. Sister Sound Off. I ain't gonna play the music today. Or should I?
Sing it? You want to sing it?
Sister Sound Off. Okay, I'm done. Okay.
All right.
First question. How do I say no to my mom without feeling like a bad daughter? Let me say this. No, mom.
Oh, that's it. I mean, yes, yes. But I think we grew up with a mom that was okay with her children saying no, though. Some people are toxic and are not okay.
Well, yeah, she had no choice because that's all she said to me is no.
But we are very privileged in having a parent who respected that their kids were human beings. Not saying that
Oh,
dad
yeah.
didn't, but a lot of times
He did.
what he said went in the same thing for mom. A lot of times, especially when we was very young, whatever they said went. So like them saying, like then us being like, no, we don't want to do that. Okay, you're gonna do it. Now you're gonna do it. But like as we got older, they would say, well, why don't you want to do it? Oh, because I don't want to do this and that. That makes me feel uncomfortable. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Or dad would be like, okay, uncomfortability leads to change. You just do it. You're gonna do it anyways. Especially with granddad. Granddad be like, okay, you don't want to talk to these people? Okay, well you're gonna have to talk to people in order to move through life in the network. So you're gonna have to do it. So certain things like that. I'm gonna say, okay, you're not gonna talk, or you're uncomfortable with having manners and stuff like that and being respectful. Oh, you're finna have them. We're gonna do this anyways. You're gonna learn how to clean. You're gonna learn how to do certain things to cook, especially for grandma Dennis. You're gonna learn how to iron your clothes. You're gonna learn how to sew. You're gonna learn how to cook this. You're gonna learn how to cook that. No, you're not just gonna be fat for no reason. You're gonna be fat with sustenance. So let's learn. Let's get to the kitchen and cook.
I really don't understand why you had to say that.
Don't cut that out either, because that's real.
No, that's going to be a bonus clip. I mean,
Yeah.
but no,
Take
honestly,
pride. I take
once again, fluff it. Hey, mom, I really love you, and I really wish I could, but unfortunately, I cannot.
Yeah, and explain it. You're human too. If it makes you feel uncomfortable or if it makes you feel like in some type of way, say that. Communicate with your parent as they communicate with you in however capacity.
Right. All right. Next one. This is a really good one. My boss keeps asking me to stay late, but I don't want to lose my job. Do I say no? First of all, you can't lose your job for overworking. And if that occurs, then that is wrongful termination.
Yeah, I say it depends on what kind of job you're working. If it's hourly and your boss is asking you to stay late but is not paying you, goodbye then. Like if you lose your job, that's wrongful termination. Now, if you're salary though, most of the time them jobs will say, you know, it says you have all these responsibilities and then whatever else is needed because we're paying you yearly. We've already like you're already basically been bought
Yeah,
out.
we already giving you hella bread, so
Yeah,
and
and
PTO.
yeah, and benefits and like all that stuff. So sick days, vacation. So if your boss is asking you to stay late, that means that you have responsibilities outside of the 9 to 5 that they need you to finish. So you just ask them to specify that, especially if it's a corporate job. They need to specify through email or text message, some form of writing, and then go from there. They'll say, okay, my schedule really doesn't allow it, but I can I compromise you with this. But most of the time, if it's a salary job, maybe you're gonna have to do it. Especially full time, you just gonna have to suck it up and do it. I'm sorry, that's
Yeah, and it also depends on why you're saying no to.
yeah.
If you're saying no to create like a boundary because you have other things to do, that's different. But I don't think an occasional overtime is wrong, especially if you're passionate and you love your job. But it's just like if you're trying to say no every single time. I don't. It's like for what? I don't know. But I'm a very hardworking person, especially when it comes to my craft. So if it's something I'm very passionate about, I generally will do that regardless of my boss asking me. I'm
Yeah.
like, I have to finish this before I leave today because I'm not coming back to do this tomorrow. So that's just me.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Let me do the other two. All right. How do you tell a guy you don't want to be just friends with benefits anymore without sounding dramatic?
This shit is
If you
so
sound
fucking
dramatic to
stupid.
if you sound dramatic to the man, he's not the guy that you don't want to be just friends with benefits with. You should like you wouldn't sound dramatic at all. Express your feelings. Again, if that person thinks that you're being dramatic and doesn't express the same feelings that you feel for them, then that's a person that you don't need to be friends with benefits with at all or beyond that or below. You just need to be below that. You just need to be friends or nothing at all because yeah, if that just means that they probably don't feel the same way about you if they think that you are sounding dramatic or anything like that. That means that they don't want to change the relationship. But just yeah,
Honestly, feel really bad for people that are scared to express how they feel. And well, I won't say scared to express how they feel because you can still do it and be scared. But
hmm
I'm just saying that don't have the bravery or courage because every day, I mean, the things we've been through, I've been dealing with shit since, a kid. So I've learned early on that every day is not promised. The people that you see today might not be here tomorrow. So I live with that. I treat people well every single day because God forbid something happens to them tomorrow. I don't want any regrets. That was one of the most beautiful things about Grandma Janice, her transition. Nothing was left unsaid. Like, we did everything. We talked, hung out, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like, of course, you're going to miss them moving forward. Will it be a transition? Absolutely. But I feel like it's a difference between, grief and guilt. And people sometimes get that misconstrued. But back to the topic at hand, just say it. You never know what's going to happen. And what's the worst thing that the person could say? No. You've already probably prepped for that in your head. That's why you're fucking scared to not say the shit in the first place. So it's like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Judge Lynn Toler said, she says this thing, and I say it all the time. Why spend 364 days worrying about what might or might not happen on the 365th? That means you just wasted a whole year worrying about something that you don't even know is going to happen for sure. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
that's always right. All right, last one, and then we're gonna do our reset rituals, whatever. All right. I'm scared to say no to people because I don't want to be alone. What do I do?
That's a self love conflict, baby. You got to fix that within yourself.
Yes, that means that you're searching for external validation because you don't enjoy life on your own. Now, some people, I've it's been an internet discourse, so there's always different POVs and think pieces on being alone and having life in solitude and enjoying your own solitude. I think that you should always do it though because it brings some sort of inner peace. It allows you to also strengthen your discernment. Okay, I know I this, I know I don't like this and that. This doesn't feel right. This person doesn't align with my values and what I literally just talked about. This person, I could dance on my own. This nigga's a wall hugger. Why would I want to talk to him? So like certain things like that, you have to be okay with being alone. The ways that I did that, now I started unhealthily. I started by smoking so I could just chill out and watch TV on my own and read books on my own and stuff like that. It allowed me to chill out my brain. But I'm neurodivergent, so that helps me in some sort of like form or fashion. But genuinely is about. Bria could probably talk more about this, but it is a self love conflict. You have to learn to be comfortable and cool with yourself. Realize that you're a cool person, and you don't need you don't need many other people. Even if you just have like one or two best friends or something like that. That's, keep it small. Say no to everybody else though. And sometimes it's just the small things. Do I want this ice cream flavor or that ice cream flavor? No. So you can say it to yourself over and over again. Say no. Start saying no to yourself. Start saying no to anything. Just,
Really, anything.
yeah, like giving yourself, like it really starts out small.
Giving your seat up on a plane. If you want to say no, go right on ahead. You paid for that seat.
Do you want water or do you want juice? No, I want water. Start clarifying things with yes or no's, and saying no becomes easier because most of the time, like again, let me run that back. It's just as simple as that. Most of the time people say, like when a server asks you, do you want water, juice, or any other Coca-Cola or Pepsi products? You will just say what you want. No, be direct. No, I want Coca-Cola products instead of just Coca-Cola products. Just give me that or something like that. Say, no, I want Coca-Cola products, specifically a Sprite. When you start being directive and you start kind of being demanding with your words and your verbiage, it starts to translate more in your everyday conversations. And I think that's like starting out something like small like that. Little battles win wars.
Yeah, I haven't really battled with people, like trying to surround myself with people because I don't want to be alone because like I felt alone in a room full of people before multiple times. I've battled with loneliness. Like with my first love, he was my first love. So breaking up was just like rough for me because I'm like, I didn't think before him that I would ever experience love. Sometimes, people are placed on this earth to just do one thing. And so I had already come to terms with maybe I'm just meant to give love and not receive it based on what Jesus Christ has done for me. I'm okay with that. He sacrificed his whole life for me. So, if I'm not meant to receive love in the way that I want, not that I don't have it, because I have familial love, I have platonic love, I have work life love, I have self love, but I was just missing the romantic love. And so I just came to terms with maybe I'm just not meant to be with anyone, and that's okay, whatever. So when I got with him, it was like, whoa, maybe this could potentially happen for me. And then when it like wasn't working out, then I was like, damn, like I was very desperate to stay, like do anything to fix it because I was like, I don't want to lose this again. You know what I mean? Like this was the first time I ever felt like I could actually attain love, and you telling me like now it's leaving my life. Like no, this can't be it. And it's a definitely a long journey. It took me like almost 3 years to fully just be like, girl, you good by yourself. It took a lot of healing. It took a lot of conversations. It took a lot of crying. It took a lot of spiritual development. It took a lot of talks with Jesus. It took a lot of praying. It took a lot of fasting. And then obviously just developing my own life, like there are other things in this world that have my attention other than that. And so that's when my desperation left, when I started to do things that I love outside of, my love life, whether that be acting. This podcast definitely helps. Going out with my friends, just having fun, watching to my favorite show. There are just so many things in this world. You just really have to find your hobbies and your passions. It's not going to be an overnight thing. Healing is not microwavable. It has its peaks and lows. There are some times where I still feel lonely because, when you picture yourself with someone for a long period of time, obviously you're not just going to completely forget about the image that you created in your head overnight. But you also have to give yourself grace to miss what you lost, but still not want it back. if that makes sense. So that's what I would say.
Okay, all right. Moving on to the reset rituals.
All right. So I will give you the reset rituals for this week, and then Jasmine can give you guys your journal prompts. First thing I want to say, practice saying no at least once a day. And Jasmine kind of already basically said that. Like, even if it's something little. Like, do I really want chicken today? No, actually, I don't. I want steak. And then go get yourself some steak. Like, it's really that simple. So practice saying no once a day, whether it's to extra chores or an invite that you just don't want to do or unnecessary work. You know, if the coworker's like, hey, I hate to bother you, but I really need help on this. Are you available? Unfortunately, I'm not because you know you have other things to attend to. And then the second thing, set a timer for 10 minutes and write down everything you don't want to do anymore. Read it out loud every day of the week. And then also create a no list that sits next to your to do list. Moving on to journal prompts.
Okay, so the journal prompts for this week are: what am I really afraid of when I say no? What am I really afraid of when I say no? Do you think someone's gonna come out and stab you if you say no? No. Hey, nothing happens. All right. Second one. I was saying yes when I didn't want to hurt me in the past. What the hell does that mean? That journal prompt might be. Am I reading that wrong?
Yeah, no, no.
How was saying yes when I didn't want to? How has that hurt me in the past?
Oh,
What boundaries would I set if I wasn't worried about disappointing anyone? What
that's a
goals
really good one.
what goals would you set if you were not worried about disappointing anyone? How many times do you dim your own life for other people? Who in my life actually respects my no, and how does that feel? That's also a good one because then you can also practice a little bit of discernment. Now, if I realize that they do not even respect my boundaries, then they need to go. I need to do a clean house sweep prayer.
Absolutely.
Just on to our ultimate segment.
Okay, so before we close, we got to talk about the kings and queens of saying no in Black pop culture because honestly, some of y'all could really take notes from these people.
Yeah, facts. Let's start with the OGs. Let's say like TLC. Listen, No Scrubs wasn't just any song. I think that was a community guideline.
Right, that was the original boundary setting anthem. Sis said if you live at home with your mama and your car is broke, that's.
And they put it in the manual. And then Beyonce came through with Me, Myself, and I.
Ugh, I should have wore my me, myself, and I wig
Lady,
today.
if you love me, help me sing it out, okay? Like, baby, if you can't get it together, I can't. And that's another no to the nonsense.
And don't forget Insecure because our girl Issa Rae really taught us the art of saying no to the situationship rotation. She said no to Daniel, no to Lawrence.
Like, well, kind of.
Okay, all right.
Like, she had a couple yeses.
All right. Don't do my girl Issa like that. But at the end, she chose herself. That was the ultimate reset.
Yeah, real talk. And in real life, Kiki Palmer had the most iconic no moment with that. Excuse me, like, I'm not entertaining your foolishness. I got a baby on my hip. Get out my business, all right?
For real. That was so powerful. And it was funny too. Like the internet turned into a whole sermon with that shit, bro.
Every time with Kiki. And then also with Naomi Osaka and Simone Biles too. Both said no to the pressure of the world for the sake of their mental health. And now that's boundary setting at the highest level.
Exactly. And Colin Kaepernick said no to silence, which is another level of courage. Sometimes your no isn't just about protecting yourself, it's about standing for something bigger.
So basically, from No Scrubs, Kiki Palmer, the art of saying no has always been a part of our culture. We're just now seeing it.
And it's not about being mean, it's about protecting your energy, your health, and your peace.
Period. If TLC, Beyonce, and Kiki can say no, then so can you.
All right, so brothers and sisters, please remember to join our community forum on the SundayResetPod.com. We would love to have you there and hear your input. Hit us up. We want to hear the time you said no and changed your life. What is your no scrubs moment? Please also tag us on Instagram as we post our bonus clips with how you practice saying no this week at Sunday Reset the Pod. And then also, we're doing next week. Our episode is going to be about main character energy versus people pleasing. So we're going to have a little, 1-2-1-2, a little Javante Davidson Adrian Bronner, he's a, right?
Lawrence Crawford.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, please follow us on social. Once again, we are at on Instagram at Sunday Reset the Pod. I am at Breya, Breya, the letter M as in Mike. Browner everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Jasmine is at JUSS Jasmine with 3 E's. Please download once again. Go to our website. We have merch available. Buy our little hoodie, buy our little journal prompt book, buy our little sent that repeat mug, buy all that, okay? And remember, all right, we love y'all. See you next week.